I want you to think about your first concert. Mine was Blink 182 at Montage Mountain, or the Toyota Pavilion, I think it might have been called then, in Scranton, PA, in 2002. My dad drove me there with my brother and my friend Matt. We sat and we watched our first live concert, and it was incredible. See, we were huge fans of Blink 182. I still am. I love their new album. And it was just such a amazing experience to be able to share that with my brother and my friend. My dad miraculously slept in his seat, but his generosity led us to be able to attend the show because we couldn't drive at the time. And it got me thinking about all of the amazing things that go into a concert. See, when you go to a concert, there are the people you see on stage, and there are the people you don't see on stage. You see the band members, of course. You see maybe the stage hands who are there tuning the instruments or running the freshly tuned guitar out for the next song. But then there are the people you don't see who still end up contributing. The songwriters, if the band doesn't write all of their own music, the producers, the audio engineers, other members of the AV team, the runners. I was a runner for a concert at the University of Scranton one time because in a fun kind of circular universe thing, my first concert ever was in Scranton, and then 2 years later, I went there as a college student. The security, the event planners, anyway, a whole bunch of people contribute to a concert. See, you see the band members, they're the rock stars, they play the music, but nobody would hear that music without the audio engineer. And that got me thinking a lot about WordPress too. You see, the ones that contribute to WordPress that we think of most often are the coders. But you don't need to write code to contribute to WordPress. As a matter of fact, there are lots of ways to contribute to WordPress. You can be part of the TV team and upload talks like this one to WordPress.tv. There's the marketing team, the testing team, the design team. There are lots of ways. My favorite way to contribute to WordPress is by talking. Shockingly. And you probably guessed by the title of this talk that I believe you can contribute to WordPress by giving a WordCamp or a meetup talk. And I know a lot of people worry about this, right? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to say that hasn't already been said? Well, first, let me dispel those feelings. Here's what you need and what you don't need to give a WordCamp or meetup talk. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to know something. You don't need to have years of experience. You just need to try new things. And then you don't need to be a professional speaker. You just need to be willing to share. You need to know something. You need to be able to try new things. And then you need to be willing to talk about those new things. And if you check all those boxes, you can contribute to WordPress. So let's talk about, now that you are ready, I believe in you, you are ready to give a talk at a meetup or at a WordCamp. Let's talk about how to give a good talk. So first you'll need to submit an idea. And submitting an idea to a meetup is a lot easier. Meetups are always looking for speakers. But the same rules will apply for submitting to a WordCamp. Come up with a good, compelling title. What problem are you solving and how? Then create a description that conveys the best points of your talk without giving it away. An example might be the title and description for this talk: how to contribute to WordPress by giving a rock solid talk. Now you know the problem I'm solving, that you want to contribute to WordPress, but you don't know how to code, and the solution: give a rock solid talk. And then the description I put together doesn't say any of what I've said really so far. I just tell you how you're feeling. You want to contribute to WordPress in a way without knowing code. Well, there's a way to do it. Then we're going to structure your talk. So how do you structure a good talk? Well, I'm structuring my talk the way that I recommend you structure yours. So first, start with a story. If you don't know who I am, you probably don't care about my bio. You don't care where I grew up or what I do. You want to be hooked. And hopefully I hooked you by asking you to think about your first concert and then telling you about my first concert. And then tie that story into your main point. Don't just tell an interesting story and then leave it hanging, right? You want it to be related to your talk in some way. So in my case, I tied the story to my main point by saying the audio engineers contribute to the concert as much as the band, even if we don't see the audio engineers. Maybe they even contribute more so. Tell the audience what they'll learn. I think we've got that down. Give them a few actionable items or tips. Take a screenshot of this slide. Then bring it all back to your story. We'll get to that in a minute. After you bring it back to your story and bring everything full circle, now hopefully your audience wants to know who you are. And then you can tell them who you are. And finally, thank them and tell them how they can learn more. Invite questions if there's the opportunity to invite questions. So I want you to be the audio engineer at a concert. Even if you don't know how to code, you can contribute to WordPress by giving a talk. Because writing code is important to WordPress, just like the band needs to play the show. But just like without an audio engineer, nobody's going to hear the music. Without people sharing what they're learning, we won't be encouraging growth in the community. We'll have a band, but we'll have no one to hear the music. Thanks so much. I'm Joe Casabona. I'm an educator, developer, and a podcaster. You can find me at jcasabona, and you can find these slides and more resources over at casabona.org/WCUS 2019. Now, if you have any questions about this talk, or you have an idea but you're not sure and you want to reach out, do it on Twitter. My DMs are open. Thanks so much.